Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom over at TFC IV MMA. Hope everyone had a great week off. I know it kind of sucked to have a week off this early in the MMA year, but hey, it is what it is. We got a nice fight card at the Apex this week, real late start time for the main card, so I'm going to try my best to stay up and watch it, but I can't guarantee anything. I maybe have to be watching the next morning just because it is going on so late. But as we know, originally this card was supposed to be in Korea, so they are changing the time to support the Korean market and make it kind of their prime time so they can tune in. And I have no issue with that. Obviously, this was supposed to be Chen Sung-jung, the Korean Zombie, headlining. I believe it was against Giga Chikadze, but when Korean Zombie got hurt, they had to switch it up, but still got a lot of fighters from Asia on this card, so really want them to showcase to their hometown fans, and I have no issue with that. So this is just going to be a main card breakdown just because there are a lot of debuts and such on this card, but we'll get right into it. First fight of the night, Yusaku Kinoshita versus Adam Fuget. Obviously, Kinoshita coming off a big win on the Contender Series, and before that, he fought in Pancrase, fought in Ryzen, so fought in a couple promotions over there, and then had a real good win on the Contender Series. So a lot of people excited for him to make his official UFC debut. Obviously, Fuget coming off a loss in his UFC debut his last time out, fought in LFA before that, and the odds are pretty stiff in this one. Kinoshita's coming in about a minus 355, with Fuget coming in about a plus 250. So the odds makers see this fight as fairly one-sided, and I agree. Just based off what we've seen out of them on it's tough to call the Contender Series UFC level, but obviously Fuget having a loss his first time out, and Kinoshita with a big win on the Contender Series, and they're expecting him to come in, get a big win in his debut, and I tend to agree with them. So I'm going to pick Kinoshita on that fight. And yeah, good way to start off the card. Should hopefully be an entertaining fight. I'm looking forward to it, so it should be good. Then in the next one, we got the return of the Korean Superboy Doo-ho Choi versus Kyle Nelson. Obviously, Choi spent a couple years away. I believe his last fight was 2019. He did leave the UFC on 3 straight losses to Charles Jourdain, Jeremy Stevens, and then obviously the Hall of Fame fight. Actually got inducted at 273. It was real cool to see it up on the big screen of him versus Cub Swanson. Awesome fight. We'll all remember that one for our lives. So, and the one issue I have though with Choi is it always felt like after that he was just trying to chase that kind of fight, that kind of war. And you see what happened when getting knocked out by Jeremy Stevens, taking those losses. So it's kind of tough there, but they are giving him a favorable matchup in Kyle Nelson, a guy coming in off 2 straight losses. His last win was against Polo Reyes a couple of years ago, and now has losses to Billy Q, Billy Quarantillo, and Jai Herbert. So definitely a big step down from the competition Choi was facing when he left the UFC several years ago. So I'm excited they're kind of letting him ease back into it this time around, and I'm excited to see how he does. He's coming in about a minus 200 with Nelson coming in about a plus 160, and I like those odds on that one. So I will take Choi. I do like inside the distance as well. I'm interested to see if he comes out with that pop. Obviously, ring rust is a big thing, so I could obviously see him coming out being pretty conservative, possibly losing a decision, but I think he comes out. He's one of those kind of fighters, whether it's for his own good or his own bad. He's going to come out and fire, and I think he will get it done. As we go from there, we go to the heavyweight division. Marcin Tybura versus Blagoy Ivanov. Obviously, Tybura shocked a lot of people his last time out. We all knew Tybura was a good fighter, but myself included and several others were very, very high on Alexander Romanov. But we saw that Utah altitude kind of play into things a little bit, and Tybura was able to get the decision win. Blagoy Ivanov, of course, coming off. He's had several great fights, had the win against DeLima, and before that had the loss against Augusta Sakai. He had the fight last year with DeLima, but before that it had been about 2 years since he competed. So he got back in the win column. He's ranked number 15, whereas Tybura is ranked number 10. Tybura is coming into this about a minus 140, with Blagoy coming in about a plus 115. And at those odds, I got to go with Marcin Tybura. Obviously, he shocked a lot of people his last time out, as I stated, with the win over Romanov, and he looked pretty good there. So I'm going to go with him, especially at plus 140. I do think it will be a decision. Obviously, Blagoy does not get finished, really, as of late. So it'll be very tough to put him away, but I do think Tybura gets it done by 3-round decision. As we go to the co-main event, we have Dawoon Jung versus Devin Clark. Jung coming in a sizable favorite at about minus 245. Devin Clark coming in about plus 205. And I agree with the odds there. Obviously, Clark is coming off 2 losses in his last 3. He had the win against William Knight, but had a loss his last time out. And then the fight before Knight, he lost to Iwan Kutalaba. Jung is coming off a loss against Dustin Jacoby, but before that, he had 2 wins over Kennedy Nzechukwu and William Knight. So 2 impressive wins there. Obviously, Clark holds the win over Knight as well. But I agree with the odds here. I do think Jung gets it done in this nice little light heavyweight clash. Obviously, we saw Devin Clark fight some kind of higher level competition, Anthony Smith, Iwan Kutalaba, and he hasn't really held up with it. I wouldn't call Jung super high level competition, but I do think he has the tools to get it done. So official pick there, we are going with Do-Woon Jung. So it'll be good. I'm just hoping for good fights on this one, guys. If I do end up staying up and there's some boring fights, I'm really going to be pissed off. Next fight, main event. Sergey Spivak, the polar bear, versus Derek, the Black Beast Lewis. Obviously, these guys are kind of trending 2 different directions as of late. Spivak, obviously, 2 wins in his last 3, coming against Greg Hardy and Augusto Sakai. Obviously, did have that 1 loss against Tom Aspinall, but it's Tom Aspinall. It's kind of tough to hold that one against him. Whereas Derek Lewis, coming off 3 straight knockout losses. And then before that, he was on a big high, beating guys like Curtis Blades and such, but had the loss to Cyril Gane in the interim title fight, had the elbow loss to Tai Tuivasa, and then the loss versus Sergey Pavlovich. I don't know if you guys saw the media day. Derek Lewis said, Dan Murgliata better not be working this fight after what happened last time out against Pavlovich. I did think it was an early stoppage. Do I think things would have got much better for Lewis, especially after what we've seen out of Pavlovich since? No, but he deserved to go out there on his shield, and it was an early stoppage. So I'm excited to see how he does. As we've seen, guys, in his social media posts and stuff, Derek Lewis is in the best shape of his life. He looks phenomenal. He looks far more leaned out than his last time out, and it'll be interesting to see if he keeps all that power. I do think he will, because Derek Lewis is one of those guys, you can just tell the way he hits. There are certain guys that are just born with power. Gervonta Davis, Deontay Wilder, Francis Ngannou. And I think Derek Lewis is one of those guys. It's just something you can't teach, that kind of knockout power. And I do think he will keep it, even cutting down that weight a little bit. He won't have to cut for this one, so he'll be stepping on the scale, walking straight into the octagon. So it'll be good for him health-wise, not having to do a cut. And I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see Derek back. I really want to see him get in the win column. He's coming in about a plus 190 with Spivak coming in about a minus 225. And I see why the line is that way. Spivak's coming off some good performances. Great wrestler. Can get the fight down, TKO you, submit you. But I do think Derek Lewis has that tendency to stand up. I know we all make jokes about it. There's memes about it, but the dude just stands up, and his power on the feet is phenomenal. And I do think coming into this fight, and we all know Derek's back's against the wall. So with all that being put into consideration, I'm taking the dog. I'm going Derek Lewis. I may regret it, but that's my pick there. I really hope to see him get the win. If not, it'll be sad, because where does he go from there? Do you keep putting him against lower level competition, or what do you do there? But I want to see him get that win, as I'm sure you guys do. So let's go. Great card there. Next week, we got UFC 284. We got Alexander Volkanovski going up to 155, trying to get double champ status. Weak card overall, but great top 2 fights, so I'm excited to see that. We also got Jack Della Maddalena, Randy Brown, Rude Boy. A lot of awesome fights on there. Is it a weak card? Yeah, but will I still be watching it? Yes. So I'm excited for that. We're now 30 days until the return of the GOAT, John Bones Jones. Finally got my hotel booked the other day, so flights are booked, tickets purchased, hotel booked. Now it's all kind of hitting me. I'm going to go see the GOAT fight live and win that heavyweight belt. So I'm real excited for that one, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. If you guys do stay up and watch the fights, I hope you enjoy it. If you guys are going to watch Sunday morning like I probably will, I look forward to talking to you guys Sunday afternoon to break down all the awesome performances. Have a good one.